Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be testing out some brand new products from Tarte. I ordered some things off of their website that are not available yet at Sephora or Ulta. A few of them are, but there are some that aren't, like their new powder foundation that I've really been excited about. So I wanted to test those out today. And for those of you who are regular viewers on my channel, yes, I have kind of switched my room around. So I'm not sitting in front of the old backdrop. I'm kind of sort of like I used to be in front of the window, but I wanted to see what this view would be like in front of my beauty mirror and like my drawers and things like that. I don't know, I just get so bored of sitting in the same place day after day. So for those of you who do like the window, you can still see kind of what the weather is like outside. It's a really gray and rainy today and very, very humid. So that's why I'm rocking the ponytail today. And actually, I had seen this tutorial pop up on YouTube about the 90s ponytail, like with this piece that goes in the front here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I used to do my hair like that all the time. So I have a little throwback thing going on, but sorry if it looks frizzy or messy, but yeah, my hair is just out of control today. So anyway, let's dig into these products. Like I said before, I did purchase these myself. This is not sponsored at all. Tarte has no idea I'm even making this video. And for anyone who is new here, I don't do sponsored content on my channel anymore. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to hit the subscribe button. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in. I have, like I said, the new powder foundation. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with this. And when I saw this on their website, I was really intrigued because I'll quickly show you what the webpage looks like. They have a little video there of someone applying this, and it looks like their skin is just being airbrushed as they're applying it to their face. And I was really excited about that because there is a CoverGirl powder at the drugstore that does that for me that I absolutely love, and I wanted to see if Tarte had recreated that or even made it better. By the way, if you're curious about that CoverGirl powder, I do have a video on it, so I'll leave it linked down below. But I wanted to try out the Tarte version. So I got it in the shade 26N Light Medium Neutral. I didn't see any colors besides really super light ones that had the pink cool undertone, which is what I have. So I figured I would just go with the neutral. It said it had a mix of both warm and cool undertones. And when I swatched this, I don't even see it. Like, it's very, very hard to see on my skin. So I think that's a good indicator that it's probably a very good match. They give you this little puff, and that's just the way I'm going to apply it because that's what they showed on the website. I have not primed my skin, but I am wearing my normal skincare. I figured it was best to just test this without a primer for now and see how it looks on bare skin. So let's see if my skin actually blurs the same way. All right, so the first pass was a very light coverage. I'm just going to put a little bit more on the puff. I feel like you kind of have to dig in there a little bit. That's better. I think this shade match is amazing. It's really, really perfect for me. If you look from one side of my face to the other, there's really not a difference in color other than it's maybe a little bit less red. And just for reference, I have dry skin. I'm 44 years old, so I do have some fine lines. I have some hyperpigmentation on my cheeks and sunspots. But overall, I feel like my skin is in pretty good shape. I just have to watch because of the dryness, especially when it comes to powder, that I make sure that I'm moisturized really well first. So one side of my face is done versus the other. I'll just zoom you guys in really quick so you can see what it looks like on the skin. I think it looks pretty good so far. I don't notice it clinging to any dry patches except for maybe on my nose, the tip of my nose a little bit, but it looks very seamless. And I do love powder foundations for that because the older I get, I find that liquid formulas really can settle into my pores and fine lines, and I really have to be careful of that. And I love how powders just kind of glide on top of the skin. I think if I didn't have dry skin, I would just use powder all the time. But I just have to be really careful about what powders I choose because some of them can just look awful and cling to every dry flake on my skin. So far, I'm really liking the look of this one though. Okay, so here's what it looks like in the studio lights, but I am going to go ahead and just grab my phone. I'm going to go over by the window and take some natural light photos so you can see what this really looks like just in everyday natural daylight. So looking at the photos, I think it definitely looks very natural on my skin. It doesn't hide my dark spots quite as well as the CoverGirl powder does, and also I can still see my pores, so I don't think it gives that really airbrushed look that I also get with the CoverGirl powder. But but I do think it looks very smooth on my forehead, and in general really just looks like skin, and I think this color match is really perfect. Here I just wanted to show you the flakiness on the bottom of my nose that it clung to a little bit. That's not really the foundation's fault, it's my skin, but I just want to show you that in case you are dry like I am. Yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with the way that this looks. Like I said, I think it could be just slightly more coverage. I think that the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Powder gives just the slightest bit more coverage with the puff and also more of that airbrushed look. I don't see my pores quite as much, but I don't feel like the Tarte one enhances my pores. It really just gives you like a your skin but better kind of a look, which is nice. Definitely great for those no makeup kind of days when I'm just going for a very natural skin look. I did put 2 layers on my cheeks. I don't really want to build it up too much more than that because I think then it could start to look really dry. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now, but I do plan to do a wear test throughout today, so we'll definitely see how it holds up as the day goes on. Let's move on to the rest of the face. So I also picked up their Sea Breezy Cream Cheek Duo. So this has their cream bronzer in the shade Seychelles, which I also have the single of that one, and the blush in Pink Sands. And again, I just think the compact is so beautiful, and these colors are perfect for my skin tone. They also make a deeper version of this as well with a deeper bronzer and blush. So if you have a deeper skin tone than mine, then you may want to check that out. When I swatched this, I noticed that especially the blush was very light. And I love this formula because it's a cream to powder, so I don't even worry about putting it on top of powder foundation because it pretty much instantly turns to a powder as soon as you apply it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my BK Beauty 106 brush, put it into the bronzer, and I'm just going to go over the perimeter of my face with this. And it also just deposits a very light hint of color. So it's not going to be anything too dramatic. I'm going for like just a very natural look overall. And I'm just kind of going in a number 3. So like top of my forehead, down to underneath my cheekbone, and then down under my chin. This is really the perfect color of bronzer for me, and I love how natural it looks because I'm not somebody who likes to really look like I'm wearing bronzer. I just want to look naturally sun-kissed. And I think this definitely does it. It's so seamless. And because it's a cream, it doesn't look like yet another powder sitting on top of my skin. All right, so just a little bit more bronzed up now. And then I'm going to take my Profusion Buffing Foundation Brush. This is very similar to the BK Beauty one. It's just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use this one to tap on the blush. This shade actually seems to have a little bit of a glow to it. Not all of their cream blushes do, so that's really pretty. That's beautiful. It's really just that perfect peachy pink color. And it's so subtle. The shimmer doesn't look like glittery or over the top. And it's blending so nicely over the powder foundation. I don't see it disturbing it or anything like that. It's not patchy. And what I like to do is just pick up very light layers. And then I'll go back in and tap it a little bit more just if I want a little more color. But this is just a perfect buildable blush. It's so pretty. All right, so there's the Breezy Cheek Duo, and I do want to quickly mention they came out with one last year that is really, really similar to this. This was also from the C collection, and this was their cream blush and bronzer palette. So I just want to show you a quick comparison between the two in case you have last year's version. So that one had 3 colors. You had the bronzer on one half and then 2 separate blushes on the other side. You had Pink Sky and Peach Paradise. So Pink Sky actually was more of a matte finish, while Peach Paradise was a shimmery finish. But the bronzer was exactly the same color, so I just want to quickly show you the blushes swatched next to each other. On the left, you have the one from this year's palette, Pink Sands, and then next to that on the right, you have Pink Sky and Peach Paradise. So I feel like this year's blush looks kind of similar to Peach Paradise. I feel like if you have last year's palette and it's not dried out and it's still working fine for you, then you may not necessarily need this one. I'm not sure if the older one is available for sale, but if you like this one even better and it is still available, I'll go ahead and link it down in the description box. All right, let's move on to eyeshadow. They have a new mini palette, the little Tartelette minis. I love these so much. I have all the older ones, and this is the Tartelette Jewel. So I love these little palettes for traveling. I think they're so perfect. You get 6 shades inside. This has 3 matte shades, 3 shimmers. 2 of the shimmers are kind of more intense and metallic, while one of them, Sparkle, is more of a satiny finish. So you just get a really nice variety in here. And when I swatched this, I thought it looked really beautiful, but I think the one thing that kind of stuck out to me a little bit is that peachy matte shade, because I don't know, I feel like it doesn't go with the rest of the palette. It's very cool toned overall, and I feel like that peachy shade is a little bit warmer than I would have expected. I would definitely have maybe put like a dusty pink in this one, or like a mauve or something. I don't know, I just feel like that peachy shade kind of sticks out to me as not really belonging when you look at it swatched out. But either way, I'm still going to use it, so I think that's the shade that I'm going to start with. It's called Bauble, and I'm going to pick it up with my BK Beauty 201 crease brush. I'm just going to apply this right to my crease. I do have hooded eyes if you're new to my channel, so I like to just put my shadow right in the natural crease and then kind of blend it up a little bit higher. This is a really, really beautiful color. I'm just kind of wondering how it's going to look with the other shades. But it's applying really beautifully. I love Tarte's Tartelette formula. It's one of my favorites. The matte shades are just so smooth and really easy to blend out. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of depth in the outer corner with the shade Lavish down here. It's like kind of an eggplant purple, and I'm going to use my Sigma Detail Diffused Crease Brush. I'm just going to focus this down in the outer corner. I feel like this kind of helps to just add a little bit of a lift to the outer corners of my eyes, because my eyes do turn downward. This shade is really dark, so I'm just going to pick up a fluffier brush. This is the Rephr number 15, and I'm just going to kind of soften this and blend it out a little bit more. This side is always the hardest. This is my more hooded eye, so my eyelid kind of folds at the corner over here. It's always really tricky. Blend that out a little more. All right, now I think I'm going to grab this shade Precious over here. I'm just going to pick that up with my finger and apply it right to my lid that way. This is really metallic. It has a little bit of glitter in it, but it's a stunning color. It's kind of like a mauvey taupe. It's really beautiful. And the pigmentation is nice. And even though it has a lot of glitter in it, I don't notice any fallout happening on my cheeks, which is great. At least applying it with my finger. I'm not quite sure how that would work with a brush. Yeah, this is applying really, really well. I'm surprised, because when I first saw that glitter, I was like, this is going to make a mess. I should have done my eyes first, but it actually worked out fine. All right, and then I'm going to take a tiny little pencil brush. This is the Rephr number 23. I'm going to dip into that satiny shade, the white one right here, and just apply a little bit to my inner corner. This is such a pretty color too, because it's like a satin, so it doesn't have all that sparkle and glitter. It really just adds a little bit of brightness. All right, moving on, we have a brand new mascara from Tarte that I'm so excited about. This is the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I love a tubing mascara, and ever since I discovered the one from Tarte Cosmetics, I've been using that one nonstop. I did find another one at Sephora from Cali Ray. They have the Come Hell or High Water mascara. That one also is a tubing formula, and it's really, really nice, but it still doesn't give me quite as big of lashes as the Thrive one does. So I am hoping that this will be a Thrive dupe, especially because Tarte makes a mini version of it, and if I can buy a mini version of a mascara, I'll do that every single time, because the minis last for me at least 3 months, and that's normally how long you're supposed to keep your mascara before throwing it out. I never go through a full-size tube in 3 months. It just doesn't happen. So it makes a lot more sense to just spend the $13 or whatever this was and just buy the mini size, because it lasts a long time anyway, and that is a heck of a lot better than paying $24 for the Thrive one, since they don't have a mini. So looking at the wand, it looks very, very similar to the Thrive one. It has kind of that cone shape and the silicone bristles. So I'm really, really hoping this is going to be a good dupe. So I think what I'll maybe do is apply the Tarte to one side and the Thrive to the other, and we'll compare my lashes. All right, so here goes. I'll put the Tarte over on this side. Oh my God, I just got some on my lid. All right, I'll clean that up later. Even when I'm trying to be careful, it seems like I always get mascara on my lids. So far, I love how this is combing through my lashes. It has that kind of brush that like grips your lashes as it combs through. Okay, so I am loving the way my lashes look. I think this is just about exactly the same results I get with the Thrive. It reminds me so much of it. I think this is probably the closest thing I've ever seen to the Thrive mascara. There's a really big difference between this eye and this eye. My lashes are just huge right now. And the best part about a tubing formula is that it doesn't smudge at all. It'll basically stay put even if I want to sleep in it until I go to take it off, and it's so easy to remove. It just removes with water in all those little tubes. All right, let me just try and clean up that smudge really quick. This little rougher brush is awesome for that, actually, because it just gets that one little spot and it doesn't really mess with the rest of your eyeshadow. Okay, so here's my Thrive liquid lash extensions. Let's put this one on the other side and we'll do a quick comparison. All right, so one thing about the Thrive versus the Tarte I could say right away is the Thrive one feels a little wetter, a little bit goopier, but I don't see a big difference in my lashes at all. What do you guys think? I don't really see a difference. I mean, the Thrive one, I almost feel like it adds maybe just slightly more volume, but I think it's because some of my lashes are clumped together a little bit, whereas the Tarte one is really like very separating. There's just a few spots where they're kind of clumped together, but I feel like it gave a very similar amount of length on both sides. Let me just zoom you guys in so you can see really close up what they look like on both sides. What I'm also going to do is apply the Tarte one tomorrow when I have no eye makeup on and take a quick before and after picture. And when I get that, I'll go ahead and insert it right here in the video just so you can see really close up without the eye makeup to distract you what my lashes looked like originally versus with the Tarte mascara. I always find those really close-up pictures to be really helpful in just seeing what it actually looks like on. All right, so then finally for lips, I'm going to be using the Maracuja Juicy Lip Cream. So they do have the regular Juicy Lip. They also have the Juicy Lip Plump. Those have a really like melty texture. They're almost like a lip gloss in a stick. This one's supposed to be more of like a creamy lipstick formula, but still have that juicy feel. So I was really excited to see what this was like. Packaging is beautiful. It feels so heavy and high-end in your hand. Packaging is totally different than the regular Juicy Lips, which feel more plasticky. This almost feels like a metal tube. It has a brushed effect on the outside, and I chose this one in the shade Mauve. I thought it looked really pretty on the website, but honestly, so many of them looked good. It was hard to choose. And what I noticed about this one when I was swatching it is that it definitely doesn't have as much shine as the original. It has more of a satiny finish. In a way, it reminds me a lot of the Clinique Almost lipstick, where it's sort of a lipstick lip balm hybrid, but it's not going to be super glossy. It's just going to have that really pretty, dewy, kind of satiny finish on your lips. Let me just show you this next to the original Juicy Lip in the shade Rose, and you can really see a big difference between the textures of them. The original Juicy Lip looks like a really melty, glossy type of formula, whereas this one is a lot more lipstick-like. I haven't tried it on my lips yet though, so we're gonna do that right now and just see what the color looks like and how it feels on. So scent-wise, it has the identical scent to the other one. So it's very like coconutty. So let's see. This is so creamy. It feels like I just applied a lip balm, but it doesn't feel like a lipstick. It feels thinner than a lipstick, and it just almost kind of becomes one with my lips. Like when I look in the mirror, usually when I apply a lipstick, I can kind of see a line of demarcation on my inner lip here. But with this, I don't see that at all. It just kind of blends very seamlessly in. Part of it is probably because it's like a very Your Lips But Better shade and it looks very close to my natural lip color, but also it doesn't like leave a waxy film on your lips like some lipsticks do. It just kind of like blends in like a balm, but it has enough color that it's more like a lipstick. Like if I pull my lip down, it doesn't look like I have a layer of lipstick sitting there at all. It looks so natural and perfect. And it feels so good. I really don't smell the coconut that much anymore, so I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal, but yeah. We're gonna go ahead and do a wear test now. I'm gonna just go about the rest of my day. It is currently 11 a.m., so I'll see you guys back here later tonight. We'll see how the foundation's holding up especially, and the face products, the eye products. So yeah, I'll see you guys back here in about 8 hours. Hey guys, it's about 7 p.m., so it's been roughly 8 hours since I applied everything. It actually looks brighter outside now than it did before because the clouds are going away, it's clearing up, so all of a sudden it's nicer weather. But anyway, I'm just gonna quickly reapply the lip product. This faded very shortly after I ate lunch. It's not the longest lasting lipstick in the world, but that's kind of what I expected, given that it's a more balmy formula, and this is the type that, you know, you'll just kind of have to reapply throughout the day. But I think my eyeshadow and mascara definitely held up the best. It looks so flawless still, even after all this time. Granted, I do have drier eyelids. Eyeshadow does tend to stay pretty well on me. I forgot to mention earlier that I did apply it on top of a MAC paint pot, the Painterly one. That's usually what I use as a base, so I just kind of wanted to keep it similar to what I would normally use. I think the cheek products definitely faded a lot since I first applied them. I still feel like I see the bronzer on my cheeks, not as much the blush, but I have to say the foundation too is holding up really well. I was not expecting that, especially like around my nose area, because earlier it was kind of running a little after I ate lunch and I had to like blow my nose a couple times, and I thought it's definitely going to be red by the time I go look in the mirror, but it still looks pretty good. I would say there's just maybe a little bit of texture on my nose here where it looks like it's starting to cling to dry patches, but everywhere else on my face, I think it just kind of melted into my skin, so it doesn't look like a powder anymore at all. It just kind of became one with my skin, which is really nice. So while the Tarte one doesn't have as much coverage as the CoverGirl one that I like, I think just for every day, it's a really nice powder foundation that's going to give you a very natural look on your skin. And I'm super impressed with the tubing mascara as well. I have a feeling this one is going to be my new favorite because it really performs the exact same way as the Thrive. It's a lot less money for this mini size, so I think a couple months from now I'm going to be repurchasing this Tarte one instead of the Thrive, especially because I can just go grab it at Sephora or Ulta. I don't have to order it online. I think this palette is beautiful as well. Love the rosy tones in it, and I think it has an awesome formula just like all of the other Tarte lip palettes. And when it comes to the lip product, the lip cream, this is so nice. I really enjoy the feel of this. It's so hydrating, and it really just gives your lips that like your lips but better sort of vibe. It doesn't even look like you're wearing product on it because there's no shine and it doesn't like settle into lip lines. It just looks so smooth. So I would definitely pick this one up in more colors as well. So I'd love to hear from you guys and just your thoughts on these products in general. I'm just enjoying Tarte's products so much these days. I used to be the biggest fan of Tarte, and then for a while I kind of got bored with them, and I think they're just coming out with so many fun new products again that it's really just getting me more excited about the brand. So I'd love to hear if that's the way you feel as well, and just your thoughts in general on everything that I tried today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and for spending time here today. I appreciate it so much. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy videos like this. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.